Welcome back to San Jose. Live look at Bob Bradley, the third U.S. head coach to go undefeated in his first 4 games. A winner tie tonight will equal Bruce Arena's 5-game undefeated start that he achieved in 98-99. 6 games unbeaten to start your reign as the U.S. head coach is the all-time U.S. record. We are underway here in San Jose. The States in the white tops, blue shorts, going right to left. China in the all red. Carlos Bocanegra wearing the captain's armband for the first time as a U.S. national team player, and according to Carlos today, for the first time he thinks in his entire soccer career. There's Clint Dempsey, late of the New England Revolution, now playing in England with Fulham, had a monumental goal late in the season to seal Fulham's deal to hang around the EPL for another season. Foul, tripped up, first free kick of the game, and it'll be for the United States. Sasha Kljestan tripped up, the member of Chivas USA, second-year pro, making his first international appearance. Kljestan, the 9th player to earn their first cap under Bob Bradley. Ante Razov, DeMarcus Beasley floating over this one. Both great left-footed options.
Yeah, there's definitely not an in-swinger in those two. Good opportunity for the big guys to get forward. Onyewu, number 22, bottom of your screen there. See if he can find his way to get open. He'll start pushing and trying to find a little spot. He's definitely the target.
6'4". China has some size to them as well, so they match up fairly well. Razov strikes it cleanly, double-fisted out by the keeper, Chen Dong, in his second international appearance. Throw in for the States, quickly taken. Onyewu posting up deep, a la Yao Ming, and runs right through a rebound. Beasley sends one in and over the heads of everybody. Good look at DeMarcus Beasley. Young man who Bob Bradley said to us yesterday has had a great camp and has an understanding and a trust with the U.S. head coaching situation right now. Bob Bradley was his head coach when he was with the Chicago Fire. Peter Novak, who's the assistant coach for the U.S. team, was the captain of that Chicago Fire team. And Beasley's had 2 good camps in a row, according to Bob Bradley. Feilhaber's pass behind Jonathan Bornstein.
Now, one of the things you got to watch for tonight is this field is only 66 yards wide. Beasley likes to run a lot. He's going to have to play a little bit tighter, find those little pockets where he can play. You see that these people are a lot closer than they usually are in a bigger field.
This is the former home of the San Jose Earthquakes, who relocated to Houston. And there's some players here on the U.S. team that are used to the tight confines, the table tennis ping pong effect, if you will, the ball hitting the wall and back in. But
well, hope this isn't a ping pong match. We're going to get our butts kicked.
Get hosed. They prefer the term table tennis, by the way. Little top spin on that clearance, throw in for China. But a lot of the players who hadn't played here in Spartan Stadium, their crossing was off yesterday in practices. Both teams only had 1 training session here at Spartan Stadium. Not a lot of build-up on the throws and corner kicks. That one thrown in and headed out by Feilhaber. Michael Bradley, the coach's son, loses it.
Yeah, you can see already.
Onyewu wins the 50-50. Feilhaber just dribbling out of some danger. That's why he's class.
Well, the U.S. needs to settle down a little bit. Watch him spread him out, try and get some passes together. Good job by Sasha Kljestan to come back and get it.
Jonathan Spector plays it back to Kljestan. Bocanegra, again the captain, finds Bradley. Cuts one in nicely. Here's Dempsey trying to streak one through. Razov is onside. Has Beasley wide open. Loose ball in the box and finally cleared out at the last moment by Soon Shung.
Real close to being offsides. It just seemed like Razov couldn't get there quick enough.
In fact, it was offside, a late whistle. But a nice quick break by the U.S. and a clever ball there by Bradley to spring Razov and Dempsey.
Dempsey very similar in the EPL, got himself in a similar situation where he had found the ball wide. Just a step offside there, you can see the line. See as that ball's hit. Unlucky for Beasley.
Bocanegra elevates to win it. Kljestan holds it right back to China, and they'll start working it out wide left. This is Soon Shung. Shung gets it back. Recently released from PSV Eindhoven. Back to Shu Young Lung. And stood up there by Ante Razov. Time now for tonight's United States Marine Corps team profile. Bob Bradley's used 36 different players in 4 games under Bradley. That's coming into this game. Razov and Kljestan make it 38 now. outscoring their opponents 8-2 with 2 shutouts. That one cleared out by Zhang. Zhang Yao-kun, 6'1" defender, 26 years of age. A lot of people have the thought in mind that the Asian players physically are a little bit smaller. China clearly is not the case. In fact, a majority of their players come from province in the northeast of the country, which is, as the Chinese people were telling me yesterday, the biggest. They breed the biggest people, if you will, in China. And there's some really intimidating size on this China roster here today. Again, they've only reached one men's World Cup, that coming in 2002. And they are getting set for July's Asia Cup.
I'll tell you, Razov's got his work cut out for him. You see that battle with Zhang there. Zhang's a tough kid, man. He's going to stick right with him today. He's already made a couple nervous mistakes. He's not used to the close confines of this stadium, but let's watch for that battle to unfold.
Bocanegra again wins the aerial contest, throwing for the States. Carlos's parents, Kelly and Manuel, and his brother Diego here to see him perform as captain for the U.S. today. Bocanegra lets it bounce, heads it wide of the net. Ornstein at clearance broken up by Dong Fong Zhou, number 19, who plays his club ball with Manchester United. Signed with him in 2004. Spent a lot of time in Belgium, had some great productive years, was finally recalled after securing his work permit in January. Was Dong. Made one EPL appearance, second to last game of the year. Started for Man U versus Chelsea. Not a bad team to start versus.
That's how you throw them into the fire. I mean,
yeah.
that's how you're going to find out what the EPL is all about right away.
Now, it looks like Beasley and Dempsey have done some flip-flopping. We originally thought it'd be Dempsey playing kind of that left winger midfield hybrid. And
that's kind of a Bob Bradley thing. I mean, you get watched for that with Bob. He'll let these guys interchange, and he'll let Beasley kind of get in a comfortable spot on the right if he wants, and likewise with Dempsey.
Spector, 50-50 ball, wins it. A little too much touch on this tight field. Jonathan Spector from Arlington Heights, Illinois, plays his club ball in England for West Ham United. Went right from the U17 national team to Manchester United. Got loaned around and has now found a nice home with West Ham United, making his 6th international appearance today. Chen quickly distributes it out wide. This is Yang Sharp, 25-year-old defender, making his 27th appearance. Bradley, the strong tackle. And looking to spring Beasley, who's onside. Beasley, 1v1 by the keeper, tripped up, and the PK.
He's got a call. He'll call.
He does, and he did. All Beasley, all Bradley.
No, give Beasley a lot of credit here for trying to keep his feet. You know, too many times you see him flop down like that, but I'll tell you this. If you're Beasley, you're thinking, man, I got a chance to score a goal here, and I probably won't get to take this penalty kick. Let's take a look at it. It's perfectly timed. He gets in behind, puts the goalkeeper in no win spot. Just tumble his way down there. I love Razov's reaction after his shot didn't work out. How, hey, by the way, that was a penalty. Oh, they're going to let him take it after all.
And a yellow card in the 9th minute to the keeper, Chen. So DeMarcus Beasley with 12 international goals, looking for number 13.
He's looking for a job too. This is how you get a job in Europe. If you just lost it, you get your name on the score sheet. Because Europe may not have seen this game, but they will read the paper.
Bradley with the ball that sprung Beasley. It's a Mexican officiating crew. Hugo Gallardo with the call as the head referee today, making Beasley adjust that. So Beasley versus Chen. Tenth minute, Beasley, winner U.S.
Take a look at the speed of Beasley. He knows he can get around just about anybody. That little contact there, find your way to the ground, and then when you get these opportunities, don't mess around. Straight down the middle. He wasn't going to try and place that. The goalkeeper goes the wrong way. Safe way out, right down the middle. Good start for Bob Bradley.
So for DeMarcus Beasley, his 13th international goal. He is now tied for 8th with Marcelo Balboa and Hugo Perez for 8th most goals in U.S. national team history. Who has the most? The guy sitting next to me.
Yeah,
Eric Winalda. For now, Landon Donovan chomping at your heels. Donovan not here. He's playing with the LA Galaxy tonight as the Galaxy hosts DC United, but Donovan is on the U.S. Gold Cup roster. And again, the U.S. opens up play Thursday versus Guatemala at the Home Depot Center. And there is Beasley with PSV Eindhoven. Spent a lot of time with Manchester City in the English Premier League this season. And for more on Beasley, we go downstairs to Alan.
Thanks, Rob. Well, DeMarcus knows that a very good summer will certainly help him sort out his uncertain club future as he's trying to stay in England after Man City gave him his release back to Eindhoven. Played 22 games, 4 goals, and actually played very well toward the end of the season. And for Beasley, remember, his first cap here was all the way back in 2001 against China in Oakland, so maybe this is a good thing for him. And DeMarcus, by the way, Rob, had probably the best week of training of all the U.S. players, and he's proven it here today.
Foul there on Yewu to wrap up the story on Beasley. He has 1 more year left in his contract with PSV Eindhoven. And spoke with his representatives this week. There are clubs in England that are interested, including Manchester City, but Manchester City right now is without a coach, so it's hard to make a personnel move there. But there is one club that is very interested. Glasgow Rangers in Scotland have had extensive contact and talks about acquiring his services, so it's almost like he's following the trail of Claudio Reyna. Manchester City, perhaps going to the Rangers, might as well go to Germany.
He's going backwards.
There's Bocanegra again wearing the captain's armband. 1-0 USA in the 12th minute.
I saw Carlos's parents make their way into the stadium tonight.
Get out!
Bradley to Beasley. Finds Feilhaber. Dempsey avoids the tackle. Here's Spector. Question in his first international appearance for the full national team. Bradley on a run, loses that foot race. ESPN's coverage of U.S. soccer is presented by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. And the undeniable power of Panasonic Plasma, Panasonic Ideas for Life. Chen with a long boot, and what a win by Onyewu. Good work here. Xiao Jai, the captain for China, stood up by Bornstein, and Feilhaber breaking and trying to send Dempsey. He's going to have to split 2 defenders to get there, and surges through to make things difficult for Chen.
Yeah, that Chinese back line has kind of learned their lesson. They were playing a little bit flat the first part of this game. They realized in a hurry how fast some of the American players can be. Doing a better job of falling.
Talked about the tight field dimensions. Here's a look at what the keepers are seeing. And one of the first things Bob Bradley did when he came here to practice yesterday was walk out the field, walk out the goal box, walk out how far the corner kicks are. And he stressed to his team, things are tight here. You got to work on your crossing, which was one of the real big bugaboos for the U.S. in their last game versus Guatemala. That shot drills off Feilhaber. 68 yards wide-ish. Maybe rounding up to the closest 68 on that one.
I played here enough, man. It's 67 at the most.
You started your MLS career here in San Jose with the then Clash.
And one of the things that's relevant to this game is with both teams having such an aerial attack, or the possibility of having an aerial attack, all set pieces, all corner kicks, all plays just like this will always be a big part of this stadium. Got to get those crosses off.
Shao taken down. Free kick now for China.
Let's take a look at this. Is the first opportunity we'll get to see what the Chinese are up to.
Again, we set some good targets. Number 9, Shao is 6'1". Number 19, Dong, 6'1", who plays for Manchester United. So some good battles in the box.
Yeah, they look like decoys to me. I think Zhang, number 4, might be the guy that might sneak around that back post. But this is an interesting look. Howard's looking right at that sun.
The lefty Soon, number 5, will take it for China. Howard trying to shield his eyes from the sun. Quick ball, skips across the box. Dempsey challenges and wins. Sent back in by China. Off the Bocanegra, loose man at the corner. Across the box again. The follow-up finds net. We're tied at 1. The blast by Yang Yao Kun in the 15th minute.
Well, that's why it's so important to clear the ball the first time out, because it comes right back in. We just talked about the dimensions. Look at everybody trying to get in good spots. Spector goes down, goes right to Zhang, and he's roofs it right through the box. And that just puts you in a no-win situation, but you couldn't be in a better spot than Zhang as this ball. That's a great look at it. Watch Timmy Howard trying to get across for this one. You just can't see it. Great goal.
So Zhang Yao Kun, his second international goal. They're tied at 1. And another break now for China down the left side. This is Wang Peng. And their head coach, Zhu Guanhu, under some heat after his team lost to Thailand on May 16th, 1-0, their first loss to Thailand in 17 years. And there's your goal scorer, Yang.
Yang's already had his impact in this game, not just the goal, but he's the only guy staying real close to Ante Razov, making it very difficult for him. But they're playing extremely flat in the back. If the U.S. could just kind of recognize that a little sooner, the run that's going to beat him is that Dempsey or the Beasley run from behind. That's how they're going to get him.
Razov lays it off. Spector. Bradley. Spector drops one in, a hopeful ball. Finds Question, plays it back to Bocanegra. The U.S. regroups. Bocanegra tries to go over the top, and we saw him walk away from that left-footed strike. Not real pleased with that effort.
Well, right idea. Trying to spring Beasley again.
Banged out there by Zhang. Onyewu stepped up, so U.S. a little thin in the back right now as Bocanegra was challenged by Wang Peng. Quickly taken to throw into Dong. Nice move. Nice ball work here by China in tight spaces. Zhao. The orange boots.
Yeah, try not to foul there. There's a little bit of that's just a silly foul because he just kind of gotten beat on a very similar play. This is why this stadium is so difficult to play in. It's a real tough spot for a goalkeeper because it can be a shot or a cross. I think Xiao is going to take a good look at this. He is their captain for a reason. He's going to try and pretty much put this up and over. Try and find this spot up here.
Xiao Jiayi was striking a majority of the free kicks in practice yesterday. Next to him, number 5, Su Xiong.
Yeah, the short guy. This
is a left-footed option.
Here's your target. Well, I mean, now that Question's there, right over your head, right there. That's where he wants to put it.
Xiao strikes it, bends. Howard save. First corner of the game for either side will be for China.
Yeah, Tim Howard will handle that any day. And he set his wall. He knows exactly what he's doing. They put those two guys on the outside of the wall to try and use them as a shield. You're not going to beat Tim Howard from that distance at the far post. He might sneak one in the near post, but he's too good for that.
Razov heads it out of danger. Good look at Ante Razov. Only 2 other players have scored more goals in MLS history than Ante Razov. 106 for Razov, and he is in pursuit of Jaime Moreno and Jason Christ. Fail Hopper. Dribbling across field. Nice ball. Nice weight on that one to find Bornstein, who has to spin back.
Watch how compact the Chinese are. They fall together, and they try and run with those midfield. That's a dangerous game to play against the Americans tonight.
Awkward and late tackle there by Bradley as the official was trying to let that one play on, but
just probably
had no other option. Look at Michael Bradley, a couple of weeks shy of his 20th birthday, the youngest player on the roster. And he will not be playing in July's Copa America. Instead, he'll be representing the U.S. at the Under-20 FIFA World Cup this July in Canada. Beasley having some issues as Yang Shy all over him, and he dribbles out of it and then sprays one to the fourth official.
Beasley looks better to me. He looks a little sharper than he did earlier in the year. You'll always notice how if Beasley's sharp, if he doesn't drag his feet are hitting the ground quicker. He looks really slow on the jog, then he'll usually look slow on the sprint. His feet seem to be kind of a little bit of pep in his step tonight. Looks good.
Well, Bob Bradley, the staff have been telling him, you know, DeMarcus, you don't have to make too much out of every single play. Let the game come to you. And we hear that term a lot, but what exactly does that mean, Errol?
Well, I mean, you got to pick your times to go. I mean, you can't show your cards every time you get the ball.
Benny Feilhaber. Now, this may be a yellow card. If not, it's certainly close.
He's doing everything but shake his hand. Yeah. 3 bows. He got out of that one.
And the U.S. quickly got into play wisely. Dempsey avoids a tackle. A little craftsmanship there. Double team, dumps it to Beasley. Beasley, a little speed by one man. Trying to get off the cross.
You know, I'll tell you what just happened there. I mean, they just got to see how talented Dempsey is on the ball. They were trying to get into him and Beasley. After one of them got nutmegged, they said, all right, that's enough of that. We'll back up and try a little bit safer with these guys.
First corner of the game for the United States. Feilhaber was striking these at practice yesterday, and he is the option today, again with Landon Donovan not here. Razov, a little flick. It'll fall to Beasley, who already has 1 goal. Lays it back to Razov. Ante, a little cut. Back to Beasley, one-time stroke, not all that clean. Spector. His 6th international appearance, gets it to Razov and gets it back.
The Americans is trying to be patient, wait for those little pockets to open up. And this game is going to go fast at times. It's going to be kind of sleep and sprint. But when the Americans decide to go, kind of going back to your point about Beasley, is every play doesn't have to be important. When you go, you got to go hard. It's okay to let him just kind of lull him to sleep, make your passes. That's a perfect example of what Bob doesn't like.
Dempsey being dumped repeatedly and no whistle.
You want to do that stuff, do it in the offensive third. Don't play with the ball where you can get stretched right there.
Beasley toeing the line, and Ante trying to chip one onto his former Chicago Fire teammate. And we had said a few minutes ago, Beasley started on the left, then he was on the right. He's back here on the left again, and this is all part of a fluid type midfield that Bob Bradley likes to employ. Razov on the far left, offside flag is up. That was close. And we send it to Sports Center for a 30 at 30 update.
Thanks, Rob. Dave Revson here. Roger Clemens not going to make that Monday start against the White Sox after all. Scratched with a groin injury that is not believed to be serious. We'll have details for you on Sports Center after softball over on ESPN. ESPN News, of course, on anytime. Rob?
Thanks, Dave. Look forward to checking in with you at halftime as well. Bradley to Bocanegra. Razov finds a spot, wins the header. Dempsey charging through and gets a piece of it. Spector in pursuit. Slides low, and that's a foul.
You know what I love about San Jose is they get into every play. I mean, sometimes it's not really too much of a play, but there's always a reaction. It's such a good group here up in San Jose. Good fans. This Spector is coming from behind. You're not going to win that one. He's probably just tired.
Well, the outside fullback positions for the United States up for grabs would probably be a polite term. Spector getting a chance today. Frankie Haydick is coming into the Gold Cup mix. He's certainly going to get a sniff out there. And again, a lot of players are going to be used for the Gold Cup because there's so many games in such a short time. But
right.
The left fullback and the right fullback spot certainly wide open for the U.S. Steve Cherundolo fighting some injuries primarily to his back. He is not going to take part in any U.S. activities this summer. Normally you would see him out at that right fullback spot.
Yeah, as far as the left side is concerned, I think Bornstein's attitude right from the get-go, from the beginning of the year, even before the MCL injury, He said, you know, nobody has established himself at that spot. I mean, Jeff Eggers might argue with you, but I think that his opinion of himself and his confidence at that spot, and the definition of his role, he's got a great future on the U.S. national team. He should at least.
Again, he was a rookie last year under Bob Bradley at Chivas USA. He was Rookie of the Year. Bradley was Coach of the Year. And for more on Bradley, we go downstairs to Allen.
Thanks, Rob. The one thing that Bob told us earlier was that the Guatemala match, that scoreless draw in Frisco, Texas, I think prepared this team for this match because he felt like China was going to sit back and try to defend as well. Tight field punch ball over the top, Rob.
Chance here for China. And that service over the top of Peng. And in international soccer, Eric, you don't get many opportunities like that. You have to do better.
Yeah, I think he just misjudged it. I mean, I hate to beat, you know, a dead horse with this field being of smaller dimensions, but when you get in those kind of spots, you're used to hitting the ball with a certain weight. I think that's pretty much what he thought, is that I'm going to hit it with that kind of weight, and it just floated right over his target's head.
Bob Bradley coaching up from the bench. Deep throw in for China. U.S. trying to lock him in. Yang, cross field to Sun. Here's Onyewu stepping up and getting into the attack. The big man sees some space and drills one into the box, and
same thing.
It'll go all the way to Beasley. Not intended for him, but finds it. Beasley has Bradley behind him, wants to do a little 1v1 stuff. Gets off the service. But out of bounds, and we go back down to Allen for more on what the U.S. is doing out there.
Well, right now they've changed from the 4-3-3 in which they started the game now to a 4-4-2 with Ante and Dempsey now up top. Beasley on the left-hand side with Sasha Kleshin on the right. The midfield and everyone else stays the same in the back. And your point earlier, Eric, is very visible down here on the sideline. Those little through balls from the diagonal run coming from the outside wide positions from the U.S. are very dangerous and giving the Chinese defenders all kinds of problems.
They're trying to settle down as well. I think Bob is taking a much more conventional approach to this game. Try and just isolate those roles and get guys in those pockets. I don't know. We'll have to ask him if he was happy with the start of this game. But it was way too erratic. A lot of people way too close to each other.
Beasley
for his
closing
liking.
in on Yang. Thursday night, our Major League Soccer matchup features the Colorado Rapids taking on the defending MLS Cup champs from Houston. MLS Primetime Thursday, presented by Adidas on ESPN2 and in high def on ESPN2 HD. Also available on ESPN 360. You can see it live at 9 p.m. Eastern. Dempsey laying it off. Question. Spector. Dempsey settles it with the chest. Popping up. Feilhaber. The little chip. Cleared. Finds net. His first international goal. Benny Feilhaber. His parents in attendance. He's blowing kisses to him right now.
Let's take a look at that. We're talking about those, how their willingness to play that flat line. That run from behind will kill you when you do that. Yang can't get over in time. He probably lost that in the sun, but this is a pretty good touch from the midfielder who's playing his soccer in Germany right now. That's a great look. He gets a good look. Goalkeeper can't get out fast enough. Chin could, well, Yang did his best, but what a great touch. You got to have a great touch in those kind of spots. Very difficult. Coming in at speed. Have a tendency to overhit those usually.
And nice composure for a 22-year-old who has not been seeing a lot of first-team action in Germany. His preference is to play first team. He's with Hamburg in Germany, and he's expecting later this month to know if he's going to be loaned to another club so he can see more first team, but he's certainly in Hamburg's future plan.
I got to actually coach this kid with Bob Jenkins, who was the under-18 coach, and get to see him when he was really raw. And one of the things, the criticisms of Benny was the fact that he tried, just like maybe a Beasley, to try to do too much on every play. He's simplified his game. I think that's the German influence. 1- and 2-touch soccer. He's gotten better and better and better, but picking your chances to go. That's what it's all about in this game. Get yourself in front of the net and then having the composure to finish it.
Well, we said
good to see you have a young player.
We said at the outset, this roster mix of some veterans and some youthful opportunities, and the young kids are producing. Beasley with the penalty kick, but he was sprung on that foul by a great ball from Michael Bradley. On the second goal, it was Sasha Kleshchin in his first international appearance with the assist to Benny Feilhaber, who scores his first international goal. And here's Feilhaber to Beasley. Beasley out wide left. Bornstein finally starting to get in the attack. Sends one in. Razov takes a bump, and the keeper Chen all over it. Too much loft. Not enough drive on that one. Offside flag, though, was up.
Great step up.
Turnover. Dempsey. Razov loves the left.
And the Chinese defenders don't know Ante Razov. Don't get to see him play on a week-in, week-out basis. So they just kind of defended him properly there. Didn't let him set up on that left, though.
Bradley. Can he get that one to Dempsey? No, Bradley was fouled. Free kick for the U.S.
The Chinese will never argue a foul. When they're guilty of a foul, you'll never see any verbal flatulence out of these guys. They don't do that. They just let it go.
That's part of their philosophy. I was speaking with their head coach, Ju Guanhu, and I said, what is your philosophy? He said, we fight for the victory. You know, we deliver all the time. We speed and unity. You know, it's one man for, you know, we're all together in this one. We're going down together. And it's a great attitude to have if you're a team. And there's a lot of coaches out there who wish they had a little bit more of that attitude. Beasley with the throw in here in the 32nd. Dempsey. Bornstein. Dempsey with the turn in the box. Cuts to his left. Bodied off. And this will be a goal kick. Nice piece of defending.
One of the things about Dempsey is that willingness to try things. Perfect read by Yang there. He just kind of stuck with him. Gonna have to throw a little bit more at him if you're gonna beat him on the ground. Dempsey, he'll put that in the back of his mind. He'll remember that one for the next play.
Wang Dong with the run down the left side. Spector pokes it away from him. Nice bit of clean defending from Jonathan Spector, and almost completes the outlet to Razov. DeMarcus Beasley, PK in the 10th minute. Benny Feilhaber, his first international goal in the 28th. U.S. on top, 2-1. There's Feilhaber. Oh, nice bit of work. Zhao Jiayi, the captain. Too much on that one. Howard read it all away.
Yeah, that final piece just wasn't there. Great little touch of skill, though. Great ball.
Bradley finds Kleshchin, keeps it alive. Razov making a run to the PK spot. Heads it down to Dempsey. Heads it back to Beasley. This is shaping up to be something pretty. Razov, the strike! Cheng got a fist on it to clear it out in the nick of time.
That was just terrific, innovative soccer from the U.S. players there. I mean, not messing around, just knowing who the open guy was. I really like that play from Dempsey. Just head it down, get it to him quick. Good stuff from the Americans.
Back to Onyewu. Cheng Dong, the Chinese keeper, trying to shake off some ill effects of that last offensive foray by the U.S. Feilhaber to Dempsey. Gets it back to him. Foul. Here's Dempsey. Clint Dempsey, about to be taken off the market, getting married July 28th in North Carolina. When you play in Europe, you don't have a lot of free time in the summers. You got to make the most of your free weekends. Hugh plays it back to his keeper, Chen. And there's a look at Dempsey, who had a spotty year in Fulham, received some playing time, didn't make much of a mark until late in the season when he scored an epic goal versus Liverpool. One of those goals that Fulham faithful will remember for decades.
I'm sure the president and owner Al Fayed is very happy with him right now.
There might have been a shopping spree the next day for Mr. Dempsey at his department store.
It's, you know, 6 months away from Christmas, but I'm sure they'll figure out something.
Never too early to buy a toaster.
Harrods is always a good place to shop.
Have you been in that place before?
Only once, yeah.
It's unreal. Howard rolls it out to Spector. Here's Bradley, who plays his professional ball in Holland. This is the second time he has played for his dad. And Bob Bradley was the head coach of the then New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. He was fortunate enough to draft Michael Bradley and played him in MLS.
You know, when I was playing in Chicago in 2001, he was out there, a 13, 14-year-old kid, out there playing with professionals, you know. And one of the things is it was so amazing because it was like, man, this kid's good. You're afraid to kick him, and after a while, you wanted to kick him because he was beating you to plays. But it's such an amazing story. I mean, you just got to forget that that's the coach's son because he's here on merit.
Offside flag on Rousoff. Fathers coaching sons, not completely uncommon in the sporting landscape. It's happened several times. Here are some of the more prominent things in Major League Soccer, the Alous and the Ripkins. Former Hartford Whaler Kevin Dineen, coached by his dad Bill Dineen, and of course the Maldini family with the Italian national team.
And none of those really last very long. That's the scary part, you know. I mean, I think what everyone needs to realize here is that Bob Bradley, you know, is as smart as he is in picking a team, he's able to look at his son objectively. He's always been very hard on him, but he treats him just like everybody else.
Well, we were talking with Bob pre-Guatemala game, the U.S.'s last game, and he said, you know, I kind of had that moment in the Ecuador game where I got on the phone with my wife, and the wife just had this tone. His wife, Lindsay, and by the way, Lindsay and Bob celebrating their 21st anniversary in just a couple days, June 14th, and he said, I can hear in Lindsay's voice that this was a different game. And then it hit Bob that my son belongs and has earned his spot, and nobody has to question me anymore about this nepotism deal.
No, I mean, you know, one of the things that Bruce Arena, the former coach, said to me is that, you know, he probably should have started that game, but maybe Bob was a little bit hesitant to put him in there. And, you know, I think after the things kind of shook out, it was very clear to anybody that's been watching soccer over the last couple of months that he belongs in there because he's in the best form. That's what the national team is. It's the players who are in the best form right now who are available. That's what it should always be.
We'll give and go here. Zhao, and broken up by the speedy Bornstein. 2-1 U.S., 38th minute. Beasley, Feilhaber, your goal scorers for the States.
Again, these are tough. Short confines of the field. Goalkeeper is looking into his son.
Feilhaber clears it out, just missing Dempsey. Soon, long blast. One hops into the belly of Howard. Well, Soon Sheng, number 5 for China, a very talented player. He's the first player from China to play in a UEFA Champions League game. He was part of that PSV Eindhoven team that defeated Arsenal 1-0 in February. Again, the sleeping giant is starting to be awakened in China. Nice ball from Beasley, who has stood up to try and make his continuing run after that pass to Rousoff. Beasley free kick. Dempsey allowed to turn and strike. Deflected. Cleared. Finds Bradley on his right. Little cut and a good sliding tackle there in the nick of time by Lee Tia. Spector will send one in. Dempsey, oh, he was mulling a bike. Bradley gets it out wide. Question, already has 1 assist tonight. Cutting inside. Onyewu drops one in. Beasley's there. Oh, nasty little hop.
Yeah, they're going to. The Chinese are going to continue to play that risky game of keeping a line and making them hit the perfect pass. But the thing is, the Americans have done it twice. Onyewu was giving him a laugh. He's like, "What, you think I could do that?" This is actually a pretty good pass from the big guy. Tough one coming out of the crowd like that. Hard to see it. It catches you right in the middle of your waist. Beasley could have had 2 there.
Bradley dropping one into Dempsey.
Not a place to dribble. That's where Bob Bradley like him to be a little bit more simple. Find that pass and get lost.
Feilhaber with the foul.
Got to work on that beard. It's not really that consistent there. Kind of patchy. Looks like you, Rob.
Yeah, I'm an expert on beards. Now, on this short field, this distance is fair game for a clean strike. It's going to be tough.
It just feels closer. That's the thing. It's deceiving.
Mentally, you feel, I got a shot at this.
Actually, he probably doesn't. That's Tim Howard in there, but he'll probably give it a go.
Xiao Jiayi rolls it back. Right-footed blast, partially deflected by Spector, I believe. Goes wide of Howard. This will be the second corner of the game for China. Again, we were told by Bob Bradley that Howard will play the first half. Casey Keller will start the second half. Number 21, Zhao Shuek. Strike this corner. Nice flight to it. Spector there. Howard will keep it in. No one really challenged him at all from China. Probably a wise move. Howard, quick outlet, finds Bornstein on the left. Already beyond midfield.
I think the U.S. looks pretty good right now. They look pretty composed. You got to also remember, Bob Bradley has coached 7 of these guys at the club ranks, so he's familiar with just about everybody on the field. A couple little pockets. The Razov and the Beasley is working. Kleshchin, Bornstein playing together.
Bradley drives one to Beasley. Bornstein making a run up from the left side. Pulls away a defender from Beasley, who rolls it. And a little lazy pass there, easily intercepted. China breaking out. And again, it was Xiao starting the break, dumping it down to Dong. Broken up by Beasley. Here's Bornstein to Bradley. Quickly closed down. Bradley's got some bite to his game.
He looks a lot like the way Tom Dooley addresses that position. Not afraid to go down.
Sees the space, and too much on that one for Kleshchin.
Well, that's what China's doing. They're trying to invite the perfect pass. They're going to try and make you beat them with that perfectly weighted pass in behind. And it's actually good logic on a small field like this. The U.S. has been able to do it twice. But I still think it's a risky game to play.
Coming up on the Dick's Sporting Goods halftime report, our friend Dave Revson will take it over. Some ugliness in a Euro qualifier between Denmark and Sweden. And Roger Clemens update, Cavs, Pistons. LeBron James, pretty good player. David Beckham's return to the English national team. If you missed his assist, stick around at halftime. Dave Revson's got it for you. Here's a break for China. Coming down the right side, their defender, Yang, sends it in. And no real issues for Onyewu on that one.
Of course, David Beckham is sporting a new do, so you want to see that. Changes it up. What is that, biannually?
I can't wait to see his look when he joins the Galaxy in July. And I can't wait to see the Galaxy's look when he joins the Galaxy again. The LA Galaxy are going to rebrand themselves. New uniforms, new colors, new logo, new look. An exciting time in American soccer this summer. That's going to be a throw-in for China. Beasley thought he had it here in the 44th minute. Beasley started the scoring in the 10th minute with the PK that he earned and finished for his 13th international goal. Dempsey looking for options. Razov cutting, as is Beasley. Beasley to Ante.
The crowd loves it. This is it will be an ongoing thing because it just makes for exciting soccer. The Chinese are pretty much allowing that little spot to open up and just saying, all right, you can make that pass. Good luck, but it's working right now.
No service by Kleshchin. No stoppage time is going to be added to this first clock, or this first half clock. So we're about under a minute here for the first half in San Jose. Spector looking for Dempsey, who's whistled for the foul. Just a few minutes away again from the Dick's Sporting Goods halftime report. Dave Revson with some great soccer highlights for you. And also want to remind you, our friend and U.S. Women's National Team former captain Julie Foudy will be joining us as well for a little Women's World Cup preview.
The other number 11.
That's right. Julie was on time, as always, for our rehearsal before the game. I don't know if you could hear the sarcasm in my voice at all, but that's it for the opening 45 minutes. Strong half from both sides. The U.S. heads to the locker room with the 2-1 lead. Beasley a goal in the 10th minute. Benny Feilhaber, his first international goal in the 28th minute. The U.S. looking to remain unbeaten in 2007. They have a lead 2-1, and we send it to our friend, Dave Revson. Hi, Dave.